starts him thinking on that instead of
And his
sleeping.
mind's turning. Yeah.
As I tell Mike, if I can't turn it off early, I'll start thinking about going to this thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's be quick.
one day last week I couldn't fall asleep, but what swimming suits am I going to pack to cosmetics?
Oh my gosh.
You know, and it's like, just turn that off. Turn it off.
Yeah.
But I can't. Once it starts.
Good about that, but you know what I do is I get, they call them ear
Last year we had
Ear
parts of the board.
where I start singing a song
Well, no,
in bed,
to that voting.
and it goes on all night. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm singing
remember.
a song in my head. It's like
Trying to
one
think when I
sentence of a
was on
song.
there.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Let's see if we can break our record tonight.
17.
17 minutes? Yes. Is that our record?
No, but that's what we're going to do tonight. Ruth promised me.
All right.
So y'all better be quick.
Somebody, I'll be sitting over here going,
Okay.
okay.
Stay on task.
Wasn't there an old game show that had a big clock and it ticked down time? You know what it was? It had something to do with I can do this song in so many seconds. You know which one? And
That was Groucho Marx show.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
he has
probably
some
that one too.
He had some kind of clock.
Just imagine.
Yeah, it did
That's the
some.
magic rubber ducky and $50.
Yeah, and the rubber duck came. Yeah. Oh, we need a rubber duck. Oh, I'm motivated, so we can't get started. 'Cause
What's that?
A blade on those trucks.
Pretend.
You need those dudes down there.
Okay, so where am I now?
Something his family had something at the night, so. Yeah, no, silence this before it goes off.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't want to pull a Hummerwick and have it go off in the middle of the meeting.
You can start telling it's really Bruce. It's okay.
That's true.
That happened about every council meeting he came to. On point.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Would you please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us?
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If anybody's needing an agenda, Tammy copied some out. I think they're up there on the podium if you need one, because our IT guy's not here this evening to put it up on the screen. So if you'd like one there. Is there any additions or deletions?
No.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the January 8th, 2024 council meeting?
I move we approve the January 8th, 2024 council meeting minutes as presented.
Motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. On to reports. Councilwoman Nunn.
Yes, and I promise to read fast. Landfill. The landfill board met last week and are still dealing with erosion issues on the cover and preparing to address possible future erosion as we approach spring moisture. We have had a rate increase from the Casper landfill from $50 a ton to $75 a ton. What effect that will have on our operation will be addressed when we prepare our budget for next year. Crystal, our site manager, reported that she is still working to design a web page for the landfill. We are also considering means of reducing the amount of grass clippings going through the regular system rather than being processed in the greens area. Main Street, I just found this very interesting. Main Street Historical Sign Project, which the board received a $15,000 grant from the Converse County Tourism Board to install a series of signs that highlight information on historical sites here in Glen Rock, is a project still in planning and development phase, but which sounds like an interesting attraction to our community. Waiting for more update on the project they have done to date. They appear to have a very positive program to offer our town in planning to move into a positive future.
Councilman
Well, I was just going to comment on the HR Zoom meeting. That was really good. Really enjoyed that, and it's going to be great for the town. Other than that, one thing, hospital board, which I'm a member of, we're going to change our meetings from 6 o'clock to 5:30. Try it out, see how it works. We're trying to get a few people to come and also have some employees input. So we can get them before they go home. So just let everybody know that.
Okay. Councilwoman Colling.
Just a quick reminder to everybody that tomorrow there's an open house at the Library Annex building from 3 to 6. It's being put on by Settler West Wind Farm, who is the wind farm that's going in just south of town. And so if you have any questions, want to see what's these first steps are going on, it's from 3 to 6 p.m. tomorrow. So hopefully see everybody there, because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Over the last week, I met with Chevy when we had some really good discussion on the park area. I met a couple of times with Carrie Moulton. She and I are working on a post-accredited emergency Spanish for medical dispatch class. So we've been working on that for a couple of months, but we met twice last week. I met a couple of times with Graves and Associates, again with the other council people, in reference to the HR issues. Also on Tuesday the 16th from 9 to 1, I went to an Incident Command and Management System class. It was hosted by the City of Douglas and taught by the State Emergency Management. There were a lot of interesting things, but one that I thought I just wanted to kind of mention, and we can discuss it more at length another time, is that while we were talking about best practices for the 3 types of events, which are planned, forecasted, and no-notice events. 1, planned event, so everybody knows it's coming, August 5th through 14th, which is Sturgis Week. So we have all of that going on, there will be 50,000 campers traveling to Gillette to spend that week in Gillette for a camporee. Obviously, during that week and the week before and the week after, they will probably be visiting with some of us, and we might want to have an event or something planned, have a heads up that they'll be camping on the way there and on the way back. 50,000 Seventh-day Adventists could keep us busy.
Unfortunately, we're right, this fall, we're going to be right in the middle of with Cedar Springs 4, possibly something a little further into the Night Bright, and all of our camping spots are probably going to be.
Which is the very reason this was brought up as a planned incident management. We need to start thinking right here, right now, what are we going to do? And, that.
State Fair comes in, and go find some place to camp somewhere for a week and then move back. So it's going to could be awful crowded this fall.
Might see
Right.
some private land folks.
Well,
Getting
yeah,
involved.
and it might just be worth sitting down and, like I said, have a incident management, not incident command, but management, so we know what we're going to need and maybe have it in place and have a heads up about what we need to do. So a good discussion for another time, but just a heads up about it. And that was my week.
Tammy.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. A couple of reminders. The Commissioners' Dinner is on the 31st, 5:30 at Rosie's. Work session, our next work session is on February 5th at 5 o'clock. And then I don't know, Bruce, if you were going to mention anything about the Night Bright meeting.
I was going to, and
Okay.
with everybody else.
Okay. And then I did just want to thank everybody for participating in the Graves meetings. We're working right now on the position description questionnaires from all the employees, and we'll move on from there. That's all I have.
Okay. Kelly, Treasurer.
Evening, Mayor and Council. The only thing I have is that the auditor's postponed for a week. Should be here some point time next week. That's about all I have.
Randy, Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The crew's been busy with garbage collection, plowing snow, cleanup, and then we were plowing snow again, and then now we're working on cleanup again. Meter reading, and we're doing training every Wednesday morning at the shop for the guys. We're doing several different things, safety training, and working on water, help them with their water exams and everything, and doing some math for them. And I would like to recognize Sarah on the crew. She's back here. Stand up, please. She passed her water exam Friday. And now I was informed she's going in February 5th for another exam.
Huh?
So, just,
Not wasting any time there.
well, moving along. She wants to do it while it's fresh in her mind. So.
Yep.
Which exam?
Hmm?
Which exam?
The first exam was wells, because we're listed as wells now by DEQ. And the next one is a step up to water treatment.
Good job.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Lyle, Building Inspector.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Still working on contractor registrations, pretty heavy. Planning and zoning's been pretty constant here lately. Had a tiny home village proposal show up, and me and Randy met with the owner this morning and discussed some preliminary plans. So we'll be going back to the Planning Commission and ironing out what a tiny home village should look like. So that's about all I got.
That's exciting, Lyle. Tiny home village.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
The police, Colder.
I'm looking to hire some tiny police to police the tiny.
All righty then.
Didn't think I was going to get away with nothing there. I've had a couple of things going on this week. We're looking for a presenter currently. We want to do something with the schools. We're having a lot of issues with sexting with students over at the middle school, high school lately. It seems like we're kind of getting a surge of it. So we want we're looking for a presentation that's going to be one that's actually meaningful, might actually touch some of the kids, because in the past we've tried to just send one of our officers over, myself included, and I don't know if we really hit it home, it seems, especially when it's circling back. So we're looking for a presenter right now. I want to find somebody that's got a good, solid story and really good at making a connection with the students to make a difference there. So been working on that so far, kind of swinging and missing. So if anybody has any ideas, please feel free to reach out, send me something. But I am working with the school administration on the 29th. Going to be giving them a little class on radio etiquette. They've got some new radios in the schools, and so they're going to start utilizing those. So I'm going to be going over some tips with them, as, believe it or not, we use ours once in a while. So got a few things there. Other than that, been working on the policy manual, doing some new forms. Every time I feel like I'm about done, I come across something that I think, oh man, that's probably important. I need to get that in there. So seems like a never-ending process, but I think I'm getting toward the end of that. Getting ready next month, actually, we're going to be doing a remodel in the evidence area. So kind of doing some preparations, trying to figure out where we're going to maneuver some things out of there for a little bit while that's going on. Also trying to draft up some phase 1, phase 2 kind of things for the shooting range, since this warm weather's got me all excited, thinking that it's going to be spring soon, right?
I'm just going to make snow.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Ha, Randy. But, yeah. So, working on getting all the equipment lined up for our new vehicles. I called for an update, and the dealership said they still have not gotten a date of the manufacturing even yet. So, I guess yet again we were told something that didn't quite come out exactly as we were told. But trying to make sure everything's ready to go as soon as they get done and to the actual upfitter. Had 3 officers attend some de-escalation training last week in Douglas. They came back, said it was actually a pretty good training. They were glad they went, learned a few things. So we'll work on getting some more officers to that in the future. I'm going to send another officer next month to some interdiction for the protection of children training, some child trafficking kind of updates, things like that, just to bring back to the department so we're all staying fresh, knowing what we're looking for, making sure that that's not something we're dealing with, hopefully ever, but certainly knowing what's going on. I have another officer that's going to be going to a Fusion Center liaison certification course. For those of you not familiar with what a Fusion Center is, it's essentially a agency that communicates with law enforcement in regional areas, so multi-state, things like that. So if we're looking at maybe somebody that we don't have a ton of information locally, we could reach out through our Fusion Center, and actually, if they were over in New Mexico causing problems or something like that, then the Fusion Center would make sure we were able to get a hold of that information, that kind of thing. Put big cases together, drug trafficking, things like that. So kind of excited to get somebody that can communicate with those guys directly, so it's not just a random reach out. Everybody's been taking care of their research on CPR, first aid. It's amazing all the things we do annually around here. NCIC certification so that we can continue to be in dispatch, work with all that. The guys are all working on their emergency vehicle operations training, as well as defensive driving. Officer Barraza's back and forth with the academy doing his challenge program, as well as working on his FTO program. And I am looking, hopefully by the end of this week, to get something out to start getting applications for our last position so that we can make sure we're ready to roll by the summer. And that's it. And I don't have a lot of breath left, so.
Did you get my email down on the road closures?
Yep. I got that out to everybody too.
Town Square Director.
Okay.
Chevy.
I have completed the Glen Rock Town Square procedures and have that effective. So all the document that was sent to you guys, I did the changes and updated it, and it should be ready to go. So it's all ready to go and effective. And I have movie night voting still going on. So the Town Square is having the community vote on which movies they want, and we're about in the middle of those. The 25th, I have a Learn to Skate night workshop, so we'll be up here. Hopefully you get some skaters in there. And then just booking food trucks for all the summer events. So working with those guys.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Chevy? Okay. Moving on. Is there any items from the floor this evening?
Yes, there is. Mayor and Council, good evening. most of you know me. I'm Steve Porter, and I'm here because of a couple of events that I missed the appointment meeting at the Glenrock Golf Course Club, and I was about 40 minutes late, so I am now the president of the Glenrock Golf Course.
You've learned that over the years. Fire department.
I know. I was on a fire call. I have a legitimate excuse. So what I wanted to do is just come and introduce myself and let the council know that kind of what's going on with the golf course and the things that we're accomplishing and the challenges that we are having right now. So, I kind of got involved in the golf course about 2019 when we upgraded our pump station, and then we went upgraded the sprinkler systems, and then also this last year, as you guys know, we upgraded the galley well down there, and so we're pumping up some water on that. Just alone with the galley well, the new pumping system, and putting in the new pump, we're saving around $450 to $500 a month in electrical costs just for that upgrade. So I wanted to thank the council for helping us with that upgrade and getting that all taken care of. And that being said, we still don't quite have that MOU finalized.
I moved.
Huh?
I said I had to move. And I just found the box that I put that in where
Okay.
So I'm back working on that. We'll get it.
Okay.
We'll do some changes and send it back to you so you guys can look at it.
All right. And then also,
I did find it.
Yeah. Also, we had our first board meeting in January, and we had quite a few topics of discussion. And we're trying to get centered to where we're not kicking the can down the road and trying to get some things accomplished. One of those, it was the topic of discussion was the MOU. And just so you know, your last request on that MOU was for us to get that pipeline insured. Our pipeline insured. I think that's what you mentioned.
I don't know that we said insured, or at least get it set up so it can be marked. We're moving part of it right now with the water and sewer project we're doing right now, so it's being relocated in a couple of the right there, coming into the through the tot lot and up into the alleyway there.
Okay. Well, I need some clarification on that because I was in understanding that we needed some sort of insurance on it in case that pipeline burst somewhere and we wash out somebody's backyard.
Yeah, like when that unfortunately
drilled
when
into
they hit it,
and
we really flooded the south end of town there. Luckily, we didn't get into anybody's house or anything, and then coming down the alley there. But you're going to have to kind of cover the fact that the water's going up through there if we do. Because we have to do the same thing. And if I guess that's something we could look at too. If we can, I don't know, since you are a tax district, if it would warmer than any of them, LGLP be able to possibly cover that also. So that's something we could look at too. That with our state insurance that we do for the town and everything, you guys are tax. Aren't you guys a tax district? Not for the. Your funding? No, maybe you're not. I'm thinking of something else. So sorry.
Okay.
But we'll get that figured out.
I'm new here, so I'm still learning here. So a couple things that I wanted to bring up to the board also is what we've got going on for some community service stuff. I'm not too sure that you guys understand that we actually have a junior golf program now that we're taking quite a few young people and teaching them the basic ethics and how to play golf, how to do different types of things. We actually are supporting the high school golf team now to where, I don't know if you've been reading in the paper, they've been doing quite well, going to different parts of the state and golfing. They've been having a pretty good time up there doing that type of learning and trying to meet the challenges of golf. Also, we host every year the cross-country meet for the school that they come up there and they utilize our golf course to run the cross-country. And then I'm not too sure if the council is aware that we are working with the contract with Mountain West, that they are going to be putting a new tower up on the golf course. I don't know if are you guys aware of that?
They came to us to get permission to bring it to town and put a
Yeah.
tower out there someplace.
Yeah, so over by our number 8 tee box, they're going to install a tower, which will be beneficial to a lot of people in the community that if they can't reach that tower up on the dump hill, that they can maybe reach this one. And then my understanding is that there's going to be some fiber optics going to go underground to different locations.
Yeah,
Wasn't too
possibly.
sure if you guys were aware of that. So that's the things that are going on with our golf course. And some of the challenges that we're having here lately is, well, we've got carts that are just falling apart like crazy. Old equipment, parts are hard to come by. And then, of course, you guys know, and I'm not here to ask for money. Don't get me wrong on that. We just, we've got labor costs. We've got some challenges that are coming up, and one of the biggest challenges that we're having, and we talked about this a little bit before, is our clubhouse. So our clubhouse, through no fault, I don't know whose fault it is, but the north side of our clubhouse it's a mess. Structural damage to the north wall. We're looking at trying to fix it, and we finally had a contractor, after contracting, I don't know how many we contacted, we finally had a contractor come up, and he's going, well, it's about a $40,000 to $50,000 fix for that clubhouse. So at the board meeting, the board is discussing, and we're going, well, geez, we spend $40,000 to fix the north wall. Do we spend another $40,000 the next year to fix this south wall, or what's going on? How are we going to get through this? The research on the clubhouse that we did was, this was an old modular house. Bruce probably remembers as well as I do that they built up some bricks and they came in and they set this modular house on it, and it was probably 10 years old then. At least when they brought it onto the site, and so that makes this clubhouse about 50 years old. And another problem that we had when we talked about it at the board meeting, we've actually had handicapped people coming to golf. I mean, they're not seriously handicapped, but they're struggling, and we have handicapped people coming to golf now, and we don't have handicap access for them to even get into our restrooms, things like that. And then I mentioned that we have the cross-country meets. We have all these different types of things that seemingly are going on up there. So the bottom line was the board for the golf course is going to start and is looking into a total replacement of the clubhouse. And
Might be money better spent.
yes, instead of trying to put a Band-Aid on this or that or whatever, or what type of problem that we have come up with next. So we have a committee working hard on that, and they have already come up with some facts and figures, and supposedly there is a company that will build what we want for around $300,000, and I'm guessing by the time you got new plumbing, electrical, everything else, we're looking at $350,000, maybe $400,000. But I just wanted to bring that out to the council, that's kind of the way that we're leaning. We're going to have to do something. We can't kick this can down the road much longer to our clubhouse. And we feel that it would be very beneficial to not only the golfers in Glen Rock, but the town of Glen Rock, that it could be utilized in many different ways if we built it right, get everybody's input into it so that we can make this a really nice place for future golfers, and we just quit messing with this old building that, I mean, we've replaced floors, we've rebuilt this, we've rebuilt that.
That thing was flooded several times.
Yes.
Shane McCoy replaced half the floor.
I know, yeah, and there's still a soft spot when you walk through the front door.
Yep.
Steve, you wanting to put that on the same spot or adjacent, or?
Well, you got a basement foundation.
We got a basement and a foundation, and the people that said that they would build that would build it to that foundation and put it to there. And of course, this time we're going to do some drainage and get rid of that. But they would build it to basically whatever we wanted and however we wanted it. So that's where we're going. We're in our planning stages, trying to figure out what this stuff was going to cost. And of course, to keep the golf course running, we got to figure out a way to maybe a business trailer where people could come in and pay their fees or whatever, and then
While it's being built.
yeah, one of our biggest hiccups is getting it taken care of and still doing business. And so we were planning on trying to do it this fall. We just never got going on it. And now that winter has hit, you just really can't tear into it at winter. And then that takes us almost up to April. And guess what happens in April? People start playing golf again. So we've got some more planning to do on it, some more stuff to go. But I just wanted to, first of all, let you know I'm the president now. And so if you have any questions, you can come ask me or whatever else, and hopefully we can work with the town and maybe we can come up with a nice solution.
Steve,
Any questions? Yes.
Steve, on a very positive note, I see that last year your net income was $15,640.27. You should be very proud of that. You're doing very well up there, considering all the expenses that you have to meet to keep that thing running.
Well, considering the expenses for the previous year was $2,800, and the year before that was $4,500.
Good job.
So we are gaining, and part of that is, it's like you can throw a lot of money at a lot of stuff that's just not, let's fix it, let's go on down, or you can get something and get it right, and you save money in the long run. So that's kind of where we're going. Any other questions?
It's exciting.
All right.
Well, thanks for letting us know, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Any other items from the floor?
Honorable Council, I wanted to get everybody in one place. I moved here in 2003. I've been here ever since, and I've been recycling at the parks. And I was stopped at Can, South Rec, and the patrolman talked to me and stuff. Does the city have any objections if I take good things out of there for the senior citizens or for myself? I found some really good things that have been thrown in the trash can.
Nope. You're more than welcome to look.
Thank you.
Thank you for looking out for seniors.
A couple of things I have. Just wondering where we're at with the trailer lot on Brubaker Road.
That really needs to go back to the next work session. That's February. Take more time than we were hoping, but
What are we?
They're working on through the Planning and Zoning Board, and then the information that Lyle brought to us to our last work session. Not everybody was there. We got through quite a bit of it. Some other recommendations were made, so it just needs to be finalized, and then we can vote on it and decide where we're going.
it's tough to get through in one session. It's just a lot of information.
Yeah.
A lot of questions, so I knew it was going to go better.
So we're still working on it. Unfortunately, it's taking a lot longer than we thought. So
And I have another request from Randy and his crew, if they could move the snow in front of the cafe on the north side. I'd appreciate that. Get all that snow and ice out of there. That's the front of the building. I'd appreciate that. Kind of a mess. So, thank you.
it builds up in that
Yeah, it just doesn't get enough sun.
Yeah, there's no sun on it, so it builds up in along the edge of the sidewalk and in the gutters.
People still do park there, of course.
Yeah.
We park there, other people
Yeah.
do. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other items from the floor? Not, we'll move. We have no old business. Our new business is Elevate Board appointment, and that is under boards and commissions. James Chaplow, I think that's how he pronounces his name. He lives at 36 Mesa Verde. Is interested in being on the Elevate Board. Was recommended by John Moulton and Candy Benedetta. So is there a motion?
I move we appoint James Capello to the, what are we going for? The Economic Development Board.
Yep. Okay, is there a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion?
This looks like a very qualified person, an economist with experience in business consulting and economic development. I think we'd be fortunate to have someone like that helping us.
He also does the weightlifting and barbell class here at the
Strength
rec
training,
center, everything
yeah.
else, strength training stuff too also. So, yeah, he seems to want to be involved in our community, so. No other discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. I believe our next order of business is bills and claims.
I move that we pay our bills.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on our current bills and claims? If not, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. And if there's not anything else to come before this council meeting this evening, I would ask somebody to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned. You guys will sign Kelly's report.